Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. We are live, and today is Thursday, and it's March 23rd. And as you well know, on Thursdays, we usually have empowering interviews. And we have, but before we go into the interview, and I have you meet my special guest today, I just want to remind you of a few things. If you are joining us live, in the comment below, hashtag live, or if you're joining us for the replay, hashtag replay. And above the video, you'll see StreamYard. Click on that and give StreamYard permission to use your name. Because if you'd like to comment, if you'd like to ask us a question, if you want to interact with my guests and myself, then we would love to know that you're not just Facebook user, as you know, so that we know who you are. And so thank you for that. As you well know, I'm coming from Mexico. My guest is from the USA. We have a couple of things in common. We actually have uh, many of our coaches, our mutual coaches, Maya Comorota, Dean Graciosi, Tony Robbins. And of course, we're both entrepreneurs. And our goal is to help women, and we help women in our individual, unique ways to help them live the lives that they so richly deserve. So, without any further ado, let me introduce you to my guest, Deanna Leonard. How are you, Deanna?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm such a fan, Lucy. You're
Oh,
so
thank you, thank
amazing.
you, thank you. So we actually, okay, we have our Facebook user. Let me just remind the person who are joining us, because I don't know who you are, and I'd love to know who's joining us. Click the StreamYard once again and give permission to use your name so we can interact with you. So, Deanna, I want to ask you, I'm in Mexico. Where are you right now?
Yes, I am in the beautiful state of Georgia, out in the countryside between Macon and Atlanta, and it is a gorgeous day.
Oh, wonderful. Love gorgeous days. I just came back from the beach myself. I love the sun. I just, love gorgeous days. So tell me, were you born in Georgia?
No, actually, I'm originally from California.
Oh, okay. You don't meet too many native Californians. I lived there for 35 years, and most people that I met were not from California. Were you born in Southern or Northern California?
Northern California, and I've lived in a lot of different states, always moved around because of either my father's job or then when I became old enough, my job. So kind of
Okay.
followed where the work was.
Well, I know, Deanna, you wear a lot of hats. You're a wife, for one thing, and that's always a big job. You're a mom, a designer, artist, a product developer, a corporate executive, and we're going to talk about that. And now an entrepreneur. So tell me. I think congratulations are
Oh.
in I think we need to congratulate you. You just retired, did you not, from corporate America?
Yeah, so it's we're negotiating the date right now. I made a huge decision to walk away from a 30-year career
Wow.
in big corporations, small corporations, family-held corporations. I've done a lot of work over the years, and it's a major life shift for sure. And I
Wow.
made the decision for a lot of different reasons, but mostly because it's time to take care of my health, my husband's health, my friend's health, and anyone that wants to step into their joy. So we're at that place.
So you've got big plans, it sounds like. Big
Big
plans.
plans. Yeah, I am targeting helping 1 million corporate women that are burned out like I was.
Wow.
Those women that have forgotten how to dream,
Oh
have
my
forgotten how to
gosh.
smile, that are on the robot, treadmill.
Uh-huh.
Start to dream again and start to find their joy, just like Maya has done for us and all the many other coaches that we work with. I
Right.
think it's time.
Wow. So let me tell you, let me ask you something. You said you had this one-liner grabber once that said, "If I can just get to retire, then I'll be happy." Are, are
Yeah.
you feeling happy? I want to know.
I am. I'm feeling all the things, right? Because it's shedding part of you. But I
Right.
had a major life change about 7 years ago.
Okay.
I wasn't taking care of myself. I was working really hard, just like many, I'm sure, of the folks in your group, working really hard in my corporate job, trying to take care of everything and everybody. And I had a major health scare that stopped me. I
Wow.
actually had a stroke, a minor stroke, but a stroke that changed everything, changed all the priorities, changed how I looked at my life, and changed what I needed to do to my mindset and to my health to get to a better place. So,
So, was that the point at which you thought, okay, this is I need to think about retiring, and there's going to be a transition here. I can't do it immediately. I mean, what was the process that went on there?
yeah, so it's interesting. So after the stroke happened, my family and I got together and we decided I was getting off the CEO track, which I was on the fast track. I was one of the fastest rising women in corporate America. And
Wow.
not because the corporation was killing me, it's because I was killing me. I
Wow.
was the one responsible for taking care of, or thinking I was responsible for taking care of everyone and everybody and forgetting to take care of myself. So we made a decision and we made a move. We moved to a smaller town and I worked for a smaller company and I took a smaller job and I was kind of miserable
Mm.
because I was hiding and I was scared. The doctor told me as I exited the ICU, once you have a stroke, there's a good chance you're going to have another one, and that
Yeah.
one's probably going to kill you.
Oh
And
my
that
God.
was the tape that was playing in my head for the last 4 or 5 years until I started working with some coaches and realized that is not the thought that needs to play in your head. The
Right.
thought that needs to play in your head is what if today was the day I did everything in my power to ensure I get healthy and don't have another stroke? And that's
Exactly.
when it started.
Right.
That's when I lost 78 pounds. That's
Wow.
when I started running. That's when I started training for this 500-mile bike ride that's coming up. Really, everything changed around that. So it took a few years to get there and really, really smart people to work with and work on myself for me to get to this place.
The power of the mind. Also.
Mm-hmm,
Wow.
for
And,
sure.
the mindset is so important. Whenever I think of Tony, who always says mindset is 80% of everything that you do, 20% is strategy.
Sure.
Corporate America, it's a hard, it just seems to be so difficult for women because they're always climbing that ladder. They're always having to prove themselves. I mean, is that the kind of thing that you experienced?
It is, but I don't think anyone put any more pressure on me than
Mhm.
me. And
Okay.
I think a lot of high performing women, we hold ourselves to a higher standard and think we have to be perfect,
Right.
and we don't. And if
Yeah.
we just had the courage to have some really deep conversations with our teams, with our bosses, with our
Right.
customers, things can change. And that's part of what I'm doing going forward is helping corporations as well understand high potential women and not burn them out.
Wow. So that is really badly needed from what I can understand. So
For sure.
I mean, you experienced burnout in a negative way for sure,
Yes,
I
I
mean,
did. I
almost,
did.
I
I
mean,
did.
really.
I experienced burnout from a physical health perspective. It
Yeah.
really was a red light for me.
Mhm.
At first, I saw it as a curse and why did this happen to me? And over
Right.
time, I realized it was a gift because it caused me to pause, it
Right.
caused me to reflect, and it caused me to make some pretty significant changes
Right.
that have now stuck and that are now inspiring other women. I'm coaching several women to good health who are
Mhm.
losing weight, who are getting healthy, or getting their energy back. Because just because you turn 50 doesn't mean we have to do this. We don't have to get sick.
Yeah, I hear you say that your goal is to help 1 million women. Isn't that kind
Big.
of putting you back into that corporate idea of, getting up there and being the best, best, best. I mean, that scares me a little bit.
It scares me too. I was working with a coach on a talk that I give, and I said, I want to help women. He goes, how many? I said, I don't know, 1,000. He goes, that's too small. There's the internet. You can help 1 million. So all of a sudden I had 1 million written down.
Oh, wow. And
We're
I
doing
know
lots
that
of,
you can do that because you've been leading teams of women all through your life, have you not?
I have. In
Yeah.
fact, one of the first things I did at this company that I recently joined 5 years ago was start a women's leadership training program because I noticed the women were really quiet, just really
Uh,
weren't speaking up or speaking their truth. And so I wanted to give them a voice. And that has been something that I've always gravitated towards. I've always mentored and coached and helped women along. And I found, I don't know if other people in your community find this, but I found quite often in corporations, men are really good at helping other men and pulling them up even when they're not ready. But
yeah.
women, not so much. We're better at tearing each other down. So how do we break that paradigm?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. And so it's like changing the whole mindset here. That's what's going to have to
Absolutely.
happen.
Absolutely. And I don't think we need to leave
Hmm.
corporations to be happy. I think there are lots of ways to be happy. I just happen to be of the age and of the mindset that it's time for me. But
Yeah,
that doesn't mean corporations are bad. I don't blame the corporation for my stroke. I blame myself and how I handled it for my stroke.
right. It sounds like you are, I mean, you took control of that situation. You knew that it you were responsible and you had to do something about it.
Exactly.
And I love the fact that you just didn't take the decision by yourself. That it was a family
It's a
decision.
family thing. It's
Right.
absolutely a family thing. And it's interesting. One of the ladies that I coach right now, who I adore, who worked for me for years, um, when I was telling her about the transformation and how stepping into your joy is such a big deal and how dreaming is such a big deal, and we forget about that as we're so busy
Right.
robotically working all the time. And she said to me, my husband said to me, I miss your laughter. I
Oh
miss
my
your
God.
laughter. And then she started crying. And I'm like, oh, I hear you. I hear you. I know what you're talking about. All of a sudden, we get into our 40s, 50s, 60s, and we've forgotten what a hobby is, right? We've
Yeah.
forgotten how to play. So I
Yeah.
get that.
But you were always very involved, as I understand, with your family. Your husband's a cyclist. I mean, he's
Yeah.
very, and so is your son. I think, right? I mean, they're very into sports. You're a runner. I mean, obviously, you do the sports too. Did you kind of just give up on that while you were, you know, uh, trying to be the best person that you could be in corporate America? Is that what
Yeah.
happened?
I think I forgot. I think I forgot to take care of myself because I was so busy taking care of everybody else.
Yeah.
And there wasn't enough time in the day. And I know working moms especially feel that. There's just never enough time in the day
Right.
to prioritize yourself. And that makes all the difference in the world. I was always after the next big title, the next big salary, the next big bonus, the next
Right.
big whatever, because I thought that's what was needed to take care of my family. When the reality was, and my husband and son have said this to me for years, all we want you to do, mom, is be happy. That's all we want.
Wow.
Right?
And that's so simple, isn't it?
Right. Simple, but yet not when you're a high performer and you think you have to be perfect.
Yeah, I know. I know it really is. But there's a change happening in you, and so because when I think of when I get up in the morning, I I know there's a choice. Are you going to be happy today? You're going to be not happy today.
Yes.
I mean, there's your
Yeah,
choice.
it
But you've got
is.
to be in the right mindset to do that.
You
You
do,
know.
and there's there's some interesting research around happiness and joy and how you're right, happiness is a choice, and often it's a choice of something we're chasing, where joy is kind of this internal thing, like
Right.
that you can tap into at any time. So,
Right. Yeah, that it reminds me of Brendan Bouchard I know that you're familiar with because
yes.
you're in the Legacy Mastermind with him.
Yeah, I'm so
And
excited.
then he always says, "Bring joy to
Yes.
whatever you're going to do. Bring joy. You
Yes.
know, be in control of your face. Make that smile happen. Make and
That is so funny that you said that. I was just reading an article called "Joy is the Best Makeup
mhm.
for
Yeah,
Women." I was like, "Oh,
isn't
that's great. I love that."
I love that line too. Joy is the best makeup. Oh my God. Listen, I want to talk about you and I are both students of the Project Next. Project Next being Dean Graciosi's and Tony's program that they created in order to help people really build an online business, to take their knowledge, to take their expertise, to take their interest, and to either put it into a course, do a workshop, do a mastermind, so I'd like to know, at what point did you join that program? Was that
Sure.
in the transitional period? Did that happen after your stroke? Or
It definitely happened after the stroke. It was
Mhm.
during the pandemic, actually,
Okay,
that I discovered that whole process and that whole industry. I didn't know that much about that industry as a whole. And I think I started with Own Your Future and then went into Project Next and then went into
right.
Project Next Level. And I was in that kind of, let's get out of the robotic mode and let's get into learning and changing and growing. And I was absorbing anything I could get my hands on. So, and
Right. Did
going
you,
deeper.
because I know you're a course creator, and I know that you've done several of the courses, and what,
Right.
and you've had to as a
Yeah.
corporate leader. So, did you sit right down and write yourself a course? Is that
I
what you did with the
did.
program?
I did. I did write a course, and I do have one out there on Mastermind. It's a very small, kind of short version of what I
Mhm.
coach. And then I've got some tips and tricks and all kinds of things around joy. So yeah, I did immediately go there. And I'm working on a new launch here, which will be coming out in the next couple of months as I make the transition into
Wonderful. Do
retirement.
you as you know, the audience that I work with a team of coaches, and we help people launch their business online,
Love it.
organically on Facebook. And so most of them are progress next people. And so the thing is that there's a lot of, I think what happens is when that course is introduced, the idea is that you have to prepare a course.
Mm.
Can you
Not
talk about
necessarily.
that? Because I did that too. I wasted, like, I don't can't say I wasted, but for 6 months I was gun ho on writing a course and doing videos and getting it ready to, because I thought that I had the idea that you had to have a course to sell, but
And
that's not the
I
case.
think they do instill that, and I don't think you wasted your time because we learn with everything we do,
Right.
right? So
Right.
I don't think it's a waste of time, but I think there are a lot of ways to build a business online, and what you're talking about, launching on Facebook, is fantastic. I launched a small group on Facebook, and I adore them, and I love on them all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of those folks are the folks that have reached out to me to help them with the weight loss part of the journey, or with the how do I get my joy back part of the mental journey. So,
Right.
and it's really about that kind of one-on-one dialogue you have with your group that you create. You don't
Right.
necessarily have to have a course, I don't think.
Yeah. So, but of course, it's nice. It just
Sure,
adds to,
sure.
perhaps, especially for coaches. It just, obviously, it
Yeah,
adds to what you're doing. And
absolutely.
so, tell me, what was your course about? Was it about losing weight, or?
No, actually, it was about the joyful journey, how to change your mindset in 6 weeks and add a little joy back into your daily life.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! Oh
I
my!
actually did that course before I started the weight loss journey, and I met my weight loss coach actually in Project Next Level. She became my coach for the weight
Oh, boy.
loss. Yeah.
We're talking about Maya then.
No, actually, it's
No,
somebody else. Her name is Debs Radvicker. So, yeah, no, Maya actually helped me with mindset. This woman helped me with the physical part of it, the actual diet part of it.
oh, interesting. Oh,
Yeah,
so yeah. Well, it's such a big pool of people that
it's
there's
great.
somebody there for everybody. That's for
It's
sure.
great.
Well, yeah, that's so interesting. So, what made you, I know that you've led teams. What made you want to be a coach? Because
So,
the reason I'm asking you that, I was a student of Mary Morrissey, who
uh,
trains and
oh, that, yeah.
certifies coaches. But I took all of her courses, and I never wanted to be a coach. I just did it for self-development. What makes a person want to be a coach is my
Ooh,
question to
I
you.
don't know if I can answer for all people, but I can answer for me.
Mhm,
So, I I've taken about every assessment you can take,
mhm,
whether it's the Enneagram or whether it's the Myers-Briggs,
right.
and every single time it comes up coach.
Uh,
I think it's literally intrinsic and in my DNA to coach. And I've been doing it for as long as I can remember, helping people grow. So I think it's a natural transition for
right,
me. It just happened to work in the corporate world because you're managing teams and you're coaching
exactly.
people up to the next level, right?
It's a
Um,
nice switch. Mhm.
it is nice, and it feels like it just feels incredibly rewarding to me to
Right.
impact someone's life for the better.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I think all our lives, I never used to believe this, but really we need coaching all our lives. We need coaching for our personal development, we need coaching for our business. You know, I never used to think that way,
I
you
know,
know.
me too. Me too.
So
We
our
can't do it alone,
coaching,
right? It's community. It's
yeah,
community.
it is community. Well, I don't know who this is, but it's there's a comment here. We have forgotten to live. You
Such a
know,
good comment.
desire to get back, desire to teach, build others up. You know,
Love it.
I mean, that's
Love
very, you know, it's a woman's thing too, because,
it. Yes,
you know, we are just very nurturing
exactly.
and of course, you know, we always want to help. So,
Exactly. And there's so many different studies too out there
mhm,
about Fortune 500 companies that have women as a
mhm.
diverse mix of the leaders perform better because we bring a different viewpoint. We
Yeah,
bring a
exactly.
different approach that is needed.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that you actually want to work with companies, don't
I
you?
do. I do
Yeah,
want to work with companies and with women directly, depending
yeah.
on what's needed. I have a whole talk that I've developed, which is about to go on the Speakers Bureau. So I'll be speaking on stages
Oh,
and
wonderful.
um, talking to people. It's called From Burned Out to Lit Up. And I'm
Okay.
going to share the story of my stroke, how it happened, because it's pretty fascinating how it all happened, and then what I did with it afterwards and hoping to inspire women to not have a health crisis before they realize they need to make the change.
Really, it's so important
Yeah,
because we think, you know, when we think of strokes and heart attacks, we think of men,
right.
but you know, women are really
Yeah,
having many more than men are, as
yeah.
far as I
It's a pretty big statistic, and I
know.
happen to live in the heart of what they call the stroke belt because they call it the stroke belt because we love to fry everything down here in the South.
Oh, that's right, your food. I forgot about that. Yes.
Yep.
So this is a wonderful new legacy for you to bring joy to 1 million women who have lost that joy on their
Yeah,
life's
awesome.
journey. I mean, where are you going to start? To me,
So
it seems like such a big. You know, I just know that the power of one is the way to go,
right,
and this is what we teach
right,
our peeps. You know, power of one starts with
absolutely.
one. But you know that whole idea of you working with 1 million women. How are you going
So
to do
I've already started with the weight loss journey. I've been very public with my before and after pictures and friends that have known me for years and years and years and that have worked at different corporations with me that have aged like I have.
that?
They're
Mhm.
the ones now reaching out to me. How did you do this? Just like I reached out to my coach. How did you do this? So I've already started working with a few. I'm only doing a few because again, I'm still working. So I'm
Right.
doing that kind of stuff just kind of on the side on the weekends. As I move into retirement, that'll become much bigger. Um, but they're starting to have results. And in fact, just this week, I've had four of them already reach out to me and tell me, hey, my clothes are fitting differently. Hey, my energy's back. Hey, my friends are noticing.
Oh,
And
that's
they're
great.
thanking me. And they don't need to thank me. They need to thank
Yeah.
them because they're
Yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
work and
Yeah.
it's working. And it just makes you feel so good to
Yeah.
know that you
Well,
don't
you know,
have
it's
to be alone.
leadership too, you know. I mean, you are helping out in a big way because you did it yourself. They saw it, you know,
Yeah,
you have the before and
exactly.
after. So that
Evidence.
there's nothing better than that social proof. So
Yeah.
so I know that you now are part of the Legacy Mastermind.
Yeah.
This is a
Super
big
exciting.
deal.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. This
Yeah.
is this
It
is a
is.
mastermind with our very
Whew.
own Dean Graziosi and Brenda Bouchard. I mean, how did that happen? Can we talk a little bit
Talented
about that?
people, right? Talented, like just honored to be in the group.
Yeah.
So that came to be through Maya Camarada, our coach.
Mhm.
She had an offer to her folks of people that are already started on the entrepreneur journey, which I had.
Mhm.
And I thought a lot about it. And at the time, it was just her and Dean. And now Brendan's been put into
Added.
the mix
Mhm.
since.
Yeah.
So I really think the best investment right now with where I am in my journey was to invest in myself. And that's what this is. It's an investment in myself so that I can be a leader, a guide, a mentor, a coach in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And they talk about a proximity.
Yes.
I know Tony talks big time about proximity. Can we talk about what that means? Can you, because proximity makes a difference.
Yeah.
And if you
Well,
want to be on stage, then you know,
I wouldn't have met you, and here we are talking, right? There's proximity right there. Yeah, in Legacy, there are so many talented people that are in all in different stages of their journey. There's
mhm,
multimillionaires in that particular mastermind, and there
yeah,
are people that are just starting out. And it's so nice to have a group that holds each other accountable, that supports
right.
each other, that answers questions that maybe wherever you are on your journey, they can help you with, just like you're doing for me now. You're helping me learn to talk to audiences.
Right, exactly. And I'm so glad to, I'm so happy for you. You know, when I think of retirement, because I did retire and I went back and now I consider myself an entrepreneur, but I had a retirement honeymoon. It sounds like,
Ooh.
Deanna, you're not going to do that.
How long was your honeymoon? Because my husband is pushing for that.
It was 10 years, right? 10 years.
Oh, no, that's not gonna happen.
Because that's not going to happen because you're
Maybe.
that type A, but all I wanted to do was be,
Oh, I
and
get that. Yeah. I
so
love that
it.
you did that. I don't think I'll be doing it for 10 years, but I think I'll take a couple of months. In At the end of July, my husband and I are doing a 500-mile bicycle tour across the
Okay.
state of Iowa. It's been
Wow.
his dream forever, and I promised him if I ever got in good enough shape, I would do it with him. So we are doing that. It's the 50th anniversary of this particular ride.
Oh
There'll be
wow.
15,000 cyclists riding across the state, so it should be a lot of fun.
Oh my God, how wonderful! I love bike riding also. So okay, well, it sounds like you are going to be taking some time off, which is, but
Just a little
but
bit.
but I know you're passionate about what you're doing now, so it's not like work it, right? It's not.
No, it's a passion project for sure.
Yeah. So, okay. So, if anybody wanted to contact, I know that you're still in transition.
Yes.
Your dream is still kind of forming,
Yes.
and as you say, it's getting clearer every day. Can you talk about, because I'd like for my audience to hear that that is an okay place to be,
Oh, for
isn't it?
sure. For sure. And it's really hard if your audience is type A like I am to not have every little thing worked out and ready to go before you
Right.
pull the trigger. I don't
Exactly.
have it all worked out, but I'm working on it and I know it's coming. I can
Yeah.
feel it. There's such positive energy around all of it through Maya's group, through people like
Hmm.
you. So I have little bits and pieces that I'm building. I have, for instance, my first opt-in page, which is not near as pretty as everybody else's, but I'm learning and I'm going slowly at my own pace. Um, got the course built, got the talk built. So I'm in a stage of total newness. And I'm totally okay with that. We're going to experiment as we go. Oh, thank you, whoever's saying congratulations. I appreciate that.
And somebody, yeah, I don't know my Facebook user, so I left A
Oh,
in the
I
dirt,
love
and
that.
I'm a Z now.
Oh, I love Type C. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's well, y'all. We all have to do what we have to do for ourselves, and so that's good. So, Deanne, you mentioned at the beginning of the our session today that you had a little gift for my
Yeah.
peeps here or our audience. Could
Sure,
you talk a
sure.
little bit about that, please? Because
Yeah.
because I think you're further the further your dream is still forming, but I think your dream is really further than
Getting there. I'm getting
yeah,
there.
getting there.
So I took a course a really long time ago that I always loved by Julia Cameron. It was called Artist's Way. It actually wasn't even a
Oh,
course. It was a book
I
that
know I
someone
did that book. I loved it.
it's
Mhm.
such a great book.
Yeah,
So from that book came some ideas and some sparks for ways to add joy, simple joy tips to add
right.
joy into your daily life. And so I put together a little chart, a little list, kind of like a
Hmm.
little hit list.
Hmm.
So if your community would like it, absolutely. I think you've got a link somewhere that you're going to
I
put.
have the tickler says here to contact Deanna Leonard by going to actually, is this your group, your page,
No,
right?
it's not my group. It's just a little landing page where you can
Okay.
sign up and get
Okay,
the
so
free
it's
book.
the Healthy Joyful Life Coach CK page, but I will put this in. I'll put it in a comment below the video so that people can easily copy it and then get that information
Awesome.
that
Awesome.
you are graciously,
Oh, no
gifting them.
problem.
So Deanna, do you have any good advice for our members? Some of them are launching this week.
Oh,
Some of them are
congratulations.
scared to
Okay.
get to death because they're launching for the first time, and their trial, it's a trial launch and it's a beta launch. Some are launching at level 2, level 3. They're a little more used to it. Any kind of advice for our members who
Do you
haven't
know there's a
any.
lot. I have lots of advice always, but I think the biggest thing that I've learned through this entire health journey is to trust your gut,
Mhm.
because you have everything you need in here. You don't need to take someone else's classes. You are the coach. You are the leader,
Right,
and people will find you. Your tribe will find you.
right,
So that would be my
exactly.
biggest piece of advice, is trust
Thank
your gut.
you. That's huge. That's huge because I mean there's a reason we're being called. There's a reason we're
Exactly.
here. There's a reason we're doing what we're doing because we know that we're here to impact other people's lives. So
Absolutely.
so I just want to thank you so much. So what's next? I mean, is there the next step? I mean, I know that you're going on this bike ride, okay,
Yes, in July.
in July.
In
Is
July.
there, of course, and then there's the mastermind for the whole year, and
Yeah, so the Legacy Mastermind has a homework assignment that I've got to get done. So next month in April, which happens to be my birthday month, I'm going to celebrate my birthday by
wow,
doing some type of master class. So that'll be a next step,
okay,
because that's part of that Legacy Mastermind homework. And then I've got to wrap up everything at corporate and take the month or two off that I promised my husband, and then we'll really get going in the fall.
okay, wonderful. Well, it sounds like a great thing. Let us know about that master class
I will.
because we'd like to certainly offer it on in
Oh,
our group. And so I just want to thank you so much, Deanna,
oh,
because I know how busy you are. Thank you for taking the time today, for being here with us. I want to say congratulations to you. I'm
thank
so
you.
proud of you,
Oh,
and
thank
I can just see you. I mean, it's just it's just a matter of time. In 5 and 6 months, your name is going to be splattered all over.
From your mouth to God's ears. Let's go.
Okay. All right, Deanna. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you
Thank
so
you so much
very
for
much.
having me. And thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And remember that graduation is next week. Congratulations to those of you who are launching, who have launched, who are launching this week or next week. And way to go, folks. Way to go. Congratulations to everybody and Deanna, too. Bye for now.